Hello, it's Haley with the Armageddon Report. This is sadly going to be potentially quite a historic day for tornadoes and whatnot, and there's basically no other way to put that. What we can hope is that the tornadoes that do occur, especially the strong ones, occur in non-populated areas, because there are certainly going to be many tornadoes today. As you can read, this is from the Public Weather Outlook from the Storm Prediction Center. This is the headline of it. A significant outbreak of strong to violent tornadoes is expected over parts of the central and southern plains this afternoon and tonight. So here's what's going on right now. Assuming it's still current, haven't refreshed the page. One tornado warning in effect. It's actually the first tornado warning of the day, of a day that is most likely going to have many tornado warnings. We've got 2 watches in effect, both of them particularly dangerous situation tornado watches, and those PDS tornado watches are fairly rare. So that kind of shows you an increase of the kind of threat level that exists today. There's a mesoscale discussion in effect that's saying that the Kansas-Oklahoma tornado watch may need to be expanded eastward. So not only will it be affected, but apparently this will get expanded eastward, as it said. Here is the outlook for today. The high-risk area is quite large. That's all of the red stuff. We've got a moderate risk, the orange lines around it, and then the slight risk covers quite a few states as well. And if you read over here, there's a possibility for significant hail and strong tornadoes. So let's look at the individual probabilities. So wind is the only thing today not predicted to have a significant component, or at least as of now. But you know, when there's a strong tornado possible, that is obviously somewhat of a significant wind event. So 45% chance of severe wind. Here's the hail map, which is quite large. So there's a few things going on here. We've got the 45% area. So that means there's nearly a 1 in 2 chance that if you're in the 45% area, that you or a neighbor within 25 miles of you will see severe hail. The black hatched area, which is quite large, is where there's the enhanced risk that the hail that falls will be 2 inches or larger as opposed to just 1 inch or larger. And the tornado map. This 45%. Nearly a 1 in 2 chance. If you're in this purple looking area, there's a nearly 1 in 2 chance that you or neighbor within 25 miles of you will see a tornado. That is insane. This is the type of stuff we saw during the outbreaks of last year, was 45%. And what differs about this one is that the 45% area actually existed as the very first outlook of the day, which was issued about, 12:45 CDT this morning. The first outlook of the day, they were already confident enough to issue a 45% area. And at the time, it was limited to Nebraska. And as of this most recent outlook, they have expanded it quite far south to include a lot of Kansas. So 45%, I don't think I've ever, it goes as high as 60% apparently, but I don't think I've ever seen that. In some ways, I wonder if we're maybe going to see. I'm pretty sure that's never existed, the 60% area. In some ways, I wonder if we're going to see that today, though. So there's the probability numbers, and then the black hatched area, which is quite huge. It's almost all of Nebraska, almost all of Kansas, almost all of Oklahoma, and then western edges of Iowa and Missouri are where there's the probability for strong tornadoes. So that'd be EF2 or greater. So on a scale of EF0 to EF5, EF2 and greater tornadoes are more likely in the hatched area. Tomorrow, there's actually a pretty big risk too, but it pales a little bit in comparison. If today wasn't happening, this would be huge news because there's a moderate risk, and moderate risk areas, the orange areas, are fairly rare as well. So, specific probability breakdown as high as a 45% up in Wisconsin. And then we've got the significant areas, and I believe it's going to be significant hail, but they didn't really talk much about it. I don't think strong tornadoes are on the table for tomorrow, but as of tomorrow, they'll break it down into the tornado, wind, hail probabilities, and then you'll see a breakdown of which of the severe weather components they think may be significant. So as high as a 45% chance up there, as high as 30%, and then of course the black hatched areas around it. So today, if you're in any of the affected areas, you should absolutely be paying attention. They're forecasting strong tornadoes, long-lived, long-tracked, things that would be very destructive. And like I said, what we can hope is that the tornadoes that do occur will occur in non-populated areas, because otherwise this could be a massively threatening event. I mean, it's a massively threatening event anyway, but we have to hope that it does not affect people. So, that is it for today. Right, Wicked Wicks, WICKEDWX. And I would recommend today, you absolutely need to have at least 2 sources of weather information, because one of them can fail. So, like for instance, I would also not suggest that your 2 sources of information be internet related, because what if your internet access fails? Or what if, both of the sites or whatever you're relying on happens to both fail, even if they're, they're not associated with each other. So I would, for instance, you should definitely have a weather radio, so that will go off and when there's alerts. But if the radio transmitter goes down, that's why you want to have a backup. Have local TV going, local radio, just normal over-the-air radio. Internet access sources will be good information, but you should definitely have at least 2 that you're paying attention to. And basically, today you need to pay a lot of attention if you're in any of these areas, because this is potentially a very, very, very significant situation that is developing. So, stay safe out there, I hope.